Experiencing regular water cuts can be frustrating, and while these engineers get the full brunt of complaints and criticism from the public, we get a chance to spend a day with the Water Authority team on a tour around their sites. The media got a chance to meet the team and tour around their facilities to listen to their concerns and explain the reasons for these regular water cuts. The Chief Operating Officer, Seru Soderberg, revealed that they are pumping 3 million litres less than what is required or in demand for the Naitasiri corridor.
In terms of demand, we are producing 3 million litres less than what is actually demanded by the greater Naitasiri community. And that is happening during our peak periods. When I say peak periods, these are on the hottest days. Hot days, we notice that our reservoir level drops very, very quickly. There's a lot more people that's using water. The normal sequence of waking up in the morning, taking a bath, people take actually longer showers when the weather is hot in the morning, when it's very humid. So that actually affects the volume of water that we produce versus what is being demanded. Yeah? So the shortage is what's actually causing a lot of disruption.
And while they dislike disconnecting water, he explains this is an exercise they need to carry out for the benefit of their customers.
We have to pick what we want to do. Do we want to leave the system open in the evening so people still get water throughout the night, or we want to produce water supply in the morning? For us, if we do not throttle in the evening, there's going to be absolutely no water to anybody the next day. We have to do it. But once the Viria water supply is commissioned, that actually gives us some 26 million litres of water spare at Waila water treatment plants, which we then can push into the system of the major sewer system. Right? If we don't do valve operation, we do get calls from customers, and it's very clear to us why they're frustrated. There's no water at home. In the evening, they're asking us to open up, and we can't do that. If we open up, there's a lot more people going to be out of water in the morning. We have to do valve operation in the evening, and we have to reverse it in the morning. And that's going to be the practice until Viria is fully commissioned and we reset the entire sewer system. We can pump more than water in the 10 years. So that's one of our main challenges. And that's part of the program we're currently doing. Viria will also help, curb that. At the moment, while our water treatment plant treats about 107 million litres a day. And what is consumed by what is pumped into the system is around 105 million litres a day. But right now we're pumping both into the sewer system and then we're pumping into Nausori. Once Viria comes online, we no longer need to pump into Nausori. This means it's million litres which we can either store at the treatment plant, store at the reservoir, or push out to customers, which would help in terms of retaining reservoir levels, increasing presence to customers, reducing valve operations, which is the key thing. Valve operations either puts people out of water, low pressure, or intermittent supply. And that normally happens immediately. Our customers in Fiji Road, along Nausori, that area down towards Nakero, the Waila housing, Nakasi, Nepani, these customers, they complain, and they complain because we are operating illegally. We have to operate. Unfortunately for us, we have to operate. If we don't operate, there's no water to actually deal with the customer in the morning. And these are just some pictures. Our infrastructure is also susceptible to very weather conditions. We are starting to notice that the rain event is shorter, but very intense. Just over the last few weeks, we've noticed the intensity of the rain just keeps moving up and up and up. It could be 3 hours, but it's 3 hours of very intense rain. Before it used to be a little bit longer, but rainfall intensity was sort of manageable. We're noticing the intensity is going up, and when intensity goes up, our intake is falling.
The authority is also working with very old infrastructure, and this is one of the biggest challenges they have.
Basically, and for our leaking service pipe, should be 3 leaks per every 100 kilometers, we have 300. So basically what this tells us is the faults are happening a lot faster than we can actually get them. Which means that we have to look at other avenues of actually rectifying these issues. That is why we explore outsourcing of certain internal mechanisms to improve productivity, where we increase the number of faults we can actually attend to on a daily basis. This program is coming up. We'll be outsourcing this some of our internal water contractors to actually take up certain arms of the business to rectify or improve our productivity level so we can actually come up to par with, at least come up to par with a number of faults that's happening on the daily basis.
Not only is the Water Authority trying to mitigate the issue of water shortage, some of its operations also involve cleaning up the damages done by members of the public.
We're working very closely with the Department of the Environment to try and make sure that our infrastructure actually comes up to par in terms of what we are producing and actually putting up into the environment. But the challenges that we currently face, it's not restricted to infrastructure that we currently have. It is also tied up to some of the behaviors that some of our customers basically display. We've had, there are certain things that you cannot dispose into a wastewater system. Things like clothes, shoes, phones. We find all manner of items in our wastewater system. And then this causes blockages, not only at our manholes, but also at our pump stations. And this overflows. When raw wastewater gets into the environment, it is toxic. It is very dangerous. But a lot of people don't understand is what they throw into the pump station, they throw into the manhole, is actually a negative for us. It's a negative for the environment. And you will note that a lot of our pump stations is located close to waterways. Because those are normally the lowest in the system. So when this overflows, they go into the environment. So every now and then we put up notices to customers to please stop dumping things into the wastewater. We've had instances where people open up the manhole and dump FRA bones inside. And that's a norm. It's a norm, and it's something that we've come to accept. That we have to continue with awareness and hope that customers stop dumping things that's not supposed to be dumped in. Our treatment plants are only meant to treat certain quality of wastewater. They don't treat, it affects the processes, the natural processes. That is why sometimes you drive past the plant, smell that odor. And that's not just because the plant is not working properly. It's because of the quality of the wastewater that is actually coming in. The odor is on the inlet of the treatment plant itself. Before it gets to us, the processes has been disturbed because we've got a pump station that's not running, meaning that's longer retention times. So the natural processes of breaking down the wastewater is not adhering to what it's supposed to adhere to.
Took a tour to the Viria project site that is well underway. The project is expected to complete later in the year. This project will boost water supply by building a new supply intake on the Rewa River, which the authority expects would serve more than 300,000 Fijians in the broader Suva area. Upon completion of this project, intermittent water supply and poor water pressure will be a thing of the past. Their capacity to produce 40 million litres of water per day will increase as a result of the Rewa River Water Scheme project. The project is being implemented through the funding provided by the government of Fiji.
You can see that we are standing in the river bank of the Rewa, and this is 49 kilometers away from the river mouth. And that's the basic reason that working towards the resiliency. So we are trying to ensure that this project will not going to be affected by the salinity issue during the climate change, sea level rise issues. So that's why we are constructing here, and we are investing to have a more prolonged pipeline. And another way of doing these things will help us to serve the most of the local community which is coming across the pipeline networks. Around 7 to 8 villages we are going to get a direct benefit out of these projects immediately, because this is normally this area is coming outside of our urban facilities, so it is on another indirect benefit of these projects. So if you look at this is a traditional conventional methods of water treatment techniques and methods we are going to adopt to treat the waters. We are trying to have more advanced facilities here, and we are mindful about the technologies and the latest treatment technology. So all the products, all the equipments are coming from the overseas, from the reputed manufacturers, so that it will have prolonged design life and having a more ensured quality of services.
While the construction of the Viria pump station is underway, the Water Authority is also mindful of the effects it could have on our environment.
Another issue that we are mindful about the environment, so we have taken all sort of approval from the Department of Environment before we commence the works. We are mindful about the safety. So far we have not recorded any fatal or any major accident or incident. So as I have stated in my presentation, that we have been working with local villages, the community representative, and almost 300 to 400 people from this vicinity have been working and engaged. They're working, maintaining and adhering to the norms of safeties, and we have been given a lot of technical upskilling training, so that these people will further able to take a part of the other infrastructure projects as well. We have been engaged with the community and established a lot of committee, as I said, to address the grievances, so that the community across these projects will not be impacted. And we have conducted a lot of public consultation, and it's going on, so that before commencing any of the works, the people are able to understand the objective of the works and may make them aware about the potential issues which may or may not impact them. But eventually, so far, the community's involvement is commendable, and we are hopeful, and that's why we hopeful to deliver them, and that's why we have through our public sector investment plan, we have taken an initiative to construct other projects to provide them opportunity to have the water in their tap, because this is the bulk main projects. We are normally committed to produce the adding the capacity of the system, but not to supply the water directly from the plant. But eventually, when we are developing, we're executing, we felt that a lot of people are expecting water, and they are not much aware of that projects, how it will help them. So they are expecting that, okay, after having these projects, maybe there will be a water. So that's why, to address those issues, we have projects in this financial year that will also, we are trying to commission along with this project, so that nearby villagers will also get the opportunity and access to the safe water. And that's why we are putting one big line around 2 to 3 kilometers to the down the line Viria village. And also we have considered we have even though compensated whoever is being affected directly, indirectly with the projects, because these projects also being funded by ADB, and they have also their safeguard policies to safeguarding the people's interest.
The media was also briefed on what is expected from this project.
Just trying to make you comfortable by explaining this. This is the Rewa rivers. So the upstream of the Rewa rivers is not being affected or impacted by the lot of activities across. So we are one way blessed that our water quality would not be much impacted by the surrounding activity in the upstream. Because our upstream section is not exposed with the maximum works like the water logging, deforestation, or the huge communities there. So it is one way, it's a blessing, but we are taking care of the catchment management to maintain the quality of the river waters. Through intake structure, you can see when we will go that side, we will have a better view. That through intake structure, we are able to drawing the water from the directly river, and we have managed to secure the hydrological data from last 100 years to have a more, to consider in the design parameters, so have a consistency in the flow, and to have a secure, water intake capacity. So we have installed a lot of pumps, screens, and infrastructure inside of the river bed. At the moment it is submerged, but that is the most critical task and most critical things we have executed to construct inside of the river. and that was very hard to, we have constructed coming across the several flooding events which was obstructed us, but finally we made it, and at the moment we are away from that and we have completed. And initially, if you look at the process ways, so after water getting extracted from the rivers, we will collect into the collection chamber, so that the people over there, so maybe we will go that side. So it is a normal process. We mostly will treat the turbidity, and then through chlorination and other dosing, we will treat the quality through our disinfections. So these water will be collected through the collection chamber, and it will travel to the clarifiers, and then it will come into the filter bed. This is the filter bed and filter house, and we'll have a sufficient capacity, even though this project has been designed to increase the capacity immediate after, if we think we can need it, because we have kept the spaces accordingly so that we can increase the capacity with a minimum effort. So the civil design we have considered till the 80 ml and 100 ml in the phase manner. This, after the that's the filtration unit, this will travel down to this unit of tank. This is also a tank which is going to take care of the chlorination operation, and this is the pump house. Almost what is going on. This pump house, the pump will be installed. It will pressure meant to 8.6 kilometer of pipeline. It will pump to the Waipolu Reservoir, which is the highest locations to gravitate the water towards the city. Around 17.8 kilometers will be gravitated from the Waipolu Reservoir. And you might have observed while you are coming here that around 6 bridges are there. That 6 bridges, we are crossing the water, river streams and waterways. And again, we have a dedicated power supply. We have invested on behalf of Water Authority, we have invested upfront capital to EFL to have a dedicated power supply, substations, so that this service will not be being exposed with any risk of not having the power supply continuously. We'll have all design considerations to have a redundancy in the entire system in order to mitigate any sort of challenge if some like a mechanical fault and any other faults, if something moving out of the operation, we have a standby operation so that the continuous supply of bulk resource will remain available for us to regulate.
From Viria, the media was then taken to Waila treatment plant, finally putting to pictures the water disruption notices that are usually sent by the authority during water cuts.
Welcome everybody. This is Waila water treatment plant. It is the biggest water treatment plant we have in the Seru-Nausori system. This water treatment plant is designed to treat water up in anywhere between 96 to 98 million liters of water a day. And Waila water treatment plant services 60% of the Seru-Nausori system. Very shortly I'll take you through the plant in terms of our operations. And also, as you can see, as you come in, you see there's a lot of equipment that's around. There's a lot of upgrading works we're currently doing at the treatment plant, and that's all geared towards improving service delivery to the customers in Seru-Nausori. And the treatment plant here in Waila, this is a conventional water treatment plant. What you can see in front of you, so it basically comes through our clarifiers. These big circular structures that you see in front of you, these are clarifiers. Water comes in from, you must have seen there's a concrete structure on the turn-off into Waila water treatment plant, so that's our raw water intake. It pumps up to our clarifiers, where we add chemicals for the coagulation flocculation process. Once the coagulation flocculation process takes place, then the water is then transferred into the filters. Filters are sand media, so the water is pushed through the filters and it comes out on the other end as clean water. And then we carry out disinfection where we add chlorine to make sure that the water is safe for human consumption. There's no bacteria. Any bacteria that goes through the filter gets removed by the chlorine. and we also adjust the pH levels to make sure that it is safe for drinking. We follow the Fiji National Drinking Water Standard that is set by the Ministry of Health, and that is closely related to the World Health Organization standards that we have, and we make adjustments for pH levels to make sure that it's safe for human consumption. This water treatment plant was constructed in 1982. It's not the oldest water treatment plant in the Seru system. The oldest water treatment plant in the Seru system is the Tamawowo, that's up in Waila. The last upgrade that was undertaken for Tamawowo water treatment plant was in the 2013, and that was funded by the Asian Development Bank. In terms of supply from the treatment plant, we supply about 80 million liters of water towards the Suva system, and 24 million liters of water to 26 million liters of water goes towards the Nausori system. And the Nausori system, once the Viria comes online, will be taken over by the Viria system. And as I mentioned during the brief up in Viria, that is how we'll then push an additional 26 million liters into the Nausori system. We'll just take you through the plant. Feel free to ask any questions when you have them. And as I said before, please be mindful of the space that you're walking into. There's a lot of equipment around. We'll also go and check on the works that we're currently doing at the bottom. That is one of the major works that is currently happening, which is the replacement of the transformers we have. Transformers we have at the Waila water treatment plant has come of age and needs to be replaced, and that's the program that we're currently having. I think earlier in January there was one shutdown that we had carried out. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is coming up in the month of March. And also I just want to clarify, not only to members of the media but also to members of the public, when we put out our repair times, it doesn't necessarily mean that within straight after we finish our work that you will get water, and I'll explain why as we go through the treatment.
We got to see where the raw water is pumped in and treated, making it safe for drinking.
And that there's a gap in terms of what we're producing. There's about 3 million liters shortage. By pushing both plants, this plant here and the one in Tamawowo, we're pushing them beyond the actual design capacity at the moment, just to meet the average day demand that is currently there. So, in terms of the shortage is about 3 million liters of water. It doesn't matter, we can produce as much as we can, and we come up short by about 3 million. And Viria basically is going to be a 40 million liter plant. That offers us that opportunity of actually covering that gap that we currently have in terms of production, and have water left over for future developments, expansions. There's a lot of developments that's coming on. There's a lot of investors that want to invest not only in the Sourav corridor but out in the Nangalutok area as well. And this will ensure that we would be able to meet the demand, the new demand over the next at least 20 years to meet the demand. And not only that, we're also working on NRW, which is basically reduction of our non-revenue water, what are we producing and we're losing through things such as leakages. Once we reduce that, that gives us more capacity in terms of storage and pressure to customers, consistent supply. There's a lot of reliability in terms of service delivery from our side as the water and wastewater service provider for the country.
During water disruptions, the frustration on the timeliness of restoration is always a concern by members of the public. Soderberg explains why this takes a while.
Once the shutdown happens, people continue using water. So our reservoirs are drained, our pipes are drained. So by the time we are done here, our reservoirs are extremely low or empty, and so are the pipelines. For us to restore service, we have to refill all of them. And that is the one that is going to take time. That's why we ask customers, when you have water before the actual shutdown itself, try and put aside 2 to 3 days worth of water supply, because restoration takes quite a significant amount of time. And for the shutdown of the Waila water treatment plant, that is affecting 60% of the Nausori system, and 60% of the Nausori system runs from Kasavu down towards the Kiuva Kamba area, then it runs all the way out into the domain area, Suva CBD. All of that area, half of the Suva CBD is also going to be impacted once this goes down. So when the notice comes out, we plead with our customers please store water. Because when we tell you that it's a 4-hour shutdown, it's a 4-hour shutdown for us. In terms of service disruption, it is a lot longer for you. It will be a day. Some of you will get water within the day, some within 2 days, some by the third day. And the most challenges is on the customers who live in the elevated areas on Princess Road, Lami-Suva, Naitasiri, Sakora, Tariwa, Princess Road. Those are the ones who, once we shut this down, they're the first ones that go out of water, and they'll be the last one to get water supply. Everybody else in between will get it relatively fast. So this particular works is also part of the works that we're doing to upgrade, and it's also tied into the Viria project. Right now you can see there's only 3 out of 4 pumps that's running up to 1 minute. Why we can run 4th? Because the transformer cannot handle it. So we're running with only 3. Once this comes online, we can run 4 pumps up. Once Viria is connected, the 26 megs that we normally push out towards Rara level, we can then start pushing that towards Wanibuku. That would eliminate things such as valve operations. So that will help with water supply to our customers in Akasinda level, Nepali, the elevated areas. It means we can run our pumps longer because we now have more water in the system. So it means that reliability of supply. There's a lot of flexibility, and water supply is going to become a lot more consistent than what is currently happening in terms of service delivery. We also have our standby genset. There's a big container you're going to walk past that's on the other side. That's our brand new genset, which we'll be bringing in to help with, basically to mitigate when there's a unplanned outage by our power supplier. That genset is going to kick in to run the plant while we wait for mains power to come online.